Your dog loves you unconditionally. Everyone knows this. Everyone says this. This is the biggest myth about dogs that is destroying your relationship right now. Because a dog's love is not unconditional. It's enormous, but not unconditional. It depends on what you do every single day. On gestures you consider normal. On habits you don't even notice. Scientists have conducted hundreds of studies on dog behavior over the last 20 years, and they found out something uncomfortable. There are things you do regularly, and every time you do them, your dog moves a little further from you, not physically, emotionally. She'll still come when you call, still be there, but something inside her closes, slowly, invisibly, until she stops coming to you first, stops looking for you, stops trusting. And there is one thing on this list, the eighth, that 90% of dog owners do, every day, thinking it's an expression of love. In reality, it's one of the most damaging things you can do to a dog's psyche. I'll talk about it separately. But first, here are 10 things that push your dog away, and that you are most likely doing right now. 1. You stare into her eyes too long. For humans, prolonged eye contact means closeness, attention, love. You look at your dog and think you're saying, "I'm here, I see you, you matter to me." She hears something completely different. In dog language, a direct prolonged stare is a challenge, dominance, a threat. In a pack, a dog that holds another dog's gaze without looking away is either establishing hierarchy or preparing for conflict. When you stare into your dog's eyes for too long, she experiences it as pressure, as a challenge she needs to respond to. This is exactly why many dogs look away, lick their nose, yawn, or turn their head when you stare at them. This isn't indifference. These are calming signals. She's saying, "I don't want conflict. I submit. Please stop pushing." You interpret this as disinterest. In reality, you're creating stress every single time. The right contact, a brief glance, a soft squint, looking slightly away. This is exactly how dogs tell each other. "I'm a friend, I'm not threatening, I feel good next to you." 2. You hug her. This is the most counterintuitive thing on this list, and the most important. People hug the things they love. It's the basic human language of closeness, a child, a partner, a friend, and a dog. You hug her and think she's feeling your love. A study by Dr. Stanley Coren, published in Psychology Today, analyzed 150 photos of people hugging dogs. In 82% of the photos, dogs showed clear signs of stress, ears pulled back, head turned away, tail tucked, lip licking, closed eyes, nose licking. 82%. Almost every dog in almost every photo. Dogs don't hug each other. In dog language, placing a paw or body over another dog is dominance, control, restriction of freedom. When you hug your dog, you restrict her movement. She can't leave. She can't react. She's trapped. Most dogs tolerate this because they love you and don't want to upset you. But tolerance is not consent, and every hug she endures is a small betrayal of trust. If you want closeness, lie down next to her. Let her come to you. Give her control over the distance. That's real closeness in her language. 3. You punish her after the fact. Here's what happens in your head. You came home and found a disaster. Torn pillow, overturned trash can, a puddle by the couch. You're angry. You approach your dog with a stern voice and start scolding her. She looks guilty, pulls her ears back, lowers her head, hides. You think she knows what she did. She doesn't. A dog's brain cannot connect an action to punishment if more than 2 seconds have passed between them. 2 seconds, not 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Everything that happens after that is to her a random threat from a person she trusted. That guilty pose isn't an admission of guilt. It's a response to your angry voice and body language right now. She sees that you're tense and aggressive, and she's showing submission to reduce the threat. This is documented in dozens of studies. When you punish a dog after the fact, you're not teaching her anything except one thing. Sometimes the owner becomes dangerous for no reason, and that destroys trust. Slowly, but surely. 4. You don't let her sniff on walks. A walk for you is movement, physical exercise, fresh air. You pull the leash, forward, faster, keep moving. For your dog, a walk is reading the newspaper. Every smell is a story. Who was here? When? Male or female? Healthy or sick? Scared or calm? A dog's nose contains 300 million olfactory receptors. Humans have 6 million. Their brain processes smells in a region that is proportionally 40 times larger than the human equivalent. Smell for a dog is not just a sense, it's the primary way of understanding the world. When you don't let her sniff, you're taking away the main pleasure of the walk. Research shows dogs who are allowed to sniff freely during walks feel significantly less physically tired, but significantly more satisfied. 10 minutes of free sniffing gives a dog more mental satisfaction than an hour of brisk walking on a short leash. You take this away every time you pull the leash. Every time, a small disappointment from the person who was supposed to understand. 5. You use words instead of body language. Dogs understand words. Some, a lot of words. Record holders memorize over 1,000 commands. But words for a dog are a secondary language, like a language you studied in school but never actually used in real life. A dog's primary language is the body, posture, movement, direction of gaze, muscle tension, rate of breathing. Research shows when a person's words and their body language contradict each other, a dog always believes the body. Always. You say, "Everything's fine," in a tense voice with clenched shoulders. She hears danger. You say no, but you're laughing. She hears yes, you can. You call her with a cheerful voice, but you're standing rigid with a tense body. She doesn't come. Most owners communicate with their dog almost exclusively through words and almost never think about what their body is saying. The result, the dog constantly receives contradictory signals. This creates anxiety, uncertainty, distance, because being close to an unpredictable creature is dangerous. 6. You don't keep a routine. Dogs are creatures of ritual. Their brains evolved in pack conditions where everything was predictable. Up at the same time, hunt at the same time, rest at the same time. Predictability for a dog is safety. Unpredictability is a threat. When your schedule is unstable, food sometimes at 7, sometimes at 10, a walk, sometimes in the morning, sometimes at noon, sometimes not until evening. Sometimes you're home all day, sometimes you disappear for 2 days. Your dog lives in a state of chronic background anxiety. She doesn't know what to expect, doesn't know when food is coming, doesn't know when you'll be back, doesn't know if it's safe to relax. Cortisol, the stress hormone, in these dogs is chronically elevated. This is measured. Chronic stress changes behavior. The dog becomes more anxious, more destructive, less capable of learning, less open to closeness. You think she's misbehaving. In reality, she's living in constant stress because of your unpredictability and gradually stops relying on you as a source of safety. 7. You pet her where she's uncomfortable. Most people pet a dog on the head, top down, pat on the crown, ruffle the face. This feels natural. You're taller, you're the owner, you're showing affection. For a dog, a hand looming from above over the head is a threatening gesture. In nature, a dominant dog places its head or paw over another dog. A hand from above activates the same instinct. Most dogs tolerate being patted on the head by familiar people. But studies using slow-motion footage show the moment a hand approaches the head, most dogs display microsignals of discomfort, looking away. Slight tension in facial muscles, a pause in breathing. Zones dogs love most, base of the tail, chest, sides, behind the ears. Zones most dogs dislike, top of the head, face, paws, tail. Every time you pet her somewhere uncomfortable, she endures it. And every act of endurance is a small signal that being close to you requires staying on guard. 8. You don't let her sniff strangers and other dogs. This is what I mentioned at the beginning. What 90% of owners do. Thinking it's normal. Correct. Sometimes, polite. An unfamiliar dog on the street. You tighten the leash. You say, no. You pull her away. Or a stranger wants to pet your dog. You allow it, but hold the leash short and tense. Or your dog wants to sniff a guest's bag. You call her away. Each of these actions sends your dog one signal. This situation is dangerous. Sniffing, not allowed. Exploring, not allowed. Trusting your own instincts, not allowed. Smell is the primary tool with which a dog assesses the world. When you systematically take away her ability to use this tool, you create a dog that can't adequately evaluate new things, who reacts with fear or aggression to things she wasn't allowed to sniff and understand. You think you're protecting her. In reality, you're creating anxiety. And every time you tighten the leash during a meeting, you literally transmit your own tension through the leash into her body. She feels this and concludes, "My owner is scared," which means danger. 9. You don't notice when she's tired. Dogs don't always want to play, don't always want to socialize, don't always want to be touched. They get tired. There are days when everything is too much. There are moments when they just need to lie down and have some quiet. But we don't notice this. We see a dog, and we want to interact. We pull out the toy, call her over, go in for a pet, put kids on her, set up a photo session. Dogs send clear signals of fatigue and overload, yawning, nose-licking, turning away, going to another room, lying with their back to the source of irritation. Most owners don't know how to read these signals, or they read them and ignore them. A dog that is systematically not heard starts using louder signals, growling, a snap of the teeth, in extreme cases, a bite, and then the owner says, "She bit out of nowhere. There was a reason. She was communicating it for a long time, in a language you never learned. Respecting her tiredness isn't weakness, it's the foundation of trust." 10. You don't miss her out loud enough. This is the last one, and the simplest. Dogs understand intonation better than any other creature on the planet. They hear the difference between "I'm happy to see you," said mechanically, and the same word said with genuine joy. A study by Attila Andix from Budapest University showed a dog's brain processes praise in 2 zones simultaneously: words in the left hemisphere, intonation in the right, and only when both the words and the intonation align does the reward center activate. Only then. A mechanical "good boy" without real joy in the voice doesn't work. The dog hears the words but doesn't feel the connection. Most owners talk to their dog in a mode of commands and corrections. No, stop, sit, come, don't. And very rarely, they just talk. Just tell her about their day. Just say they're glad to see her, for real. With all the intonation they have, it sounds strange, but that's what she's listening for, what she waits at the door for. Not commands, not training. You, alive, real. The one who missed her, now you know. Look at this list one more time. Prolonged staring, hugging, punishing after the fact. No sniffing allowed. Words without body language. Unpredictable schedule, uncomfortable touches, taking away social smelling, ignoring tiredness, mechanical praise. How many of these are yours? 1, 3, 7. This isn't guilt. Nobody is born knowing the dog's language. But now you know. And knowledge changes everything. Because she doesn't ask much from you. She doesn't require a perfect owner. She requires only one thing, that you try to understand her, that you learn her language the way she learns yours, every day, from scratch, again and again. She does this without complaint, without demands. She just tries, every day, for you. The least you can do in return is know and change. 1 point at a time. Write in the comments, how many of these 10 did you recognize in yourself? Just a number. And subscribe. Every video here reveals what your dog has never been able to say out loud.